Om Shri Sai Ram. Respected brothers and sisters of the state of California and others who have come this evening. It is my great privilege to be with you here this afternoon. For this unique gift, I humbly bow at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan and thank him for making this possible. But for Bhagavan's grace, I would never have been here. It is only his will and sankalpa which makes it possible for anything to be done, and it is his will that today I should be at Anaheim. Am I right? Is this the place? At Anaheim, talking to fellow devotees. Let me also thank the devotees and the office bearers of this specific region for all that they have done to make it possible for me to be with you. I am grateful to my brother Narendra Reddy. This was something we talked about quite some time back, that I should come to the United States. To tell you the truth, though I agreed, I had no clue as to whether this would really happen. Until the last minute, we were wavering. I had commitments at Prashanthi Nilayam, and I was not sure how I would be away for this period of time. But again, it is Bhagavan's will and grace which makes all things happen. Today, I would like to divide my talk into three parts. The first part, which I am sure all of you would be interested, is to know what is happening at Puttaparthi, what is happening with the Sai institutions, and whether things are the same as they were before, or is there some change? In order to do that, I would like to make a slight presentation with facts and figures rather than speak subjectively. I think we will let the facts speak for themselves. The second part would be where I would share some thoughts with you on what I believe to be the role of the Sai mission and what I believe should be the role of Sai devotees. I will intersperse this with experiences and my own learning process. In the last part, with time permitting, would be to take questions on any doubts or any points that you wish to raise. I'll pray to Bhagwan to guide me to answer these questions clearly and truthfully. So to commence the first part, I think I just, with some alacrity, title this A Journey with Sai to the United States, because it is literally that. And it is mainly the wonderful attraction and satsang to be with Sai devotees, which is the raison d'etre for this trip. I think the point we want to address is what is happening at Parthi. And I would like to tell you with facts and figures what is happening in the hospitals, what is happening at our university, what is happening in the ashram, what is happening in the central trust, what is happening with the Seva organization in India. I think you have the knowledge about Bhagwan's hospitals, how he established them, that they are totally free of charge, and his will was that the best medical care should be given free of cost. In fact, Bhagwan had said that it is the birthright of every individual to have free medical care, free education, and free drinking water. And in his lifetime, or in his presence as an avatar in this world, he achieved all of them. So as you know, we have 5 hospitals, the 2 super specialty hospitals at Prashantigram, the 2 general hospitals at Puttaparthi and Whitefield, the other super specialties at Whitefield in Bangalore, and the mobile hospital. So these are the 5 hospitals set up by Bhagwan. Let's look at the Prashanti Nilayam Hospital, and that gives you the figures of the number of patients which were treated in the different departments of that hospital, the cardiology and cardiothoracic surgery, the urology, the plastic surgery, the ophthalmology, the orthopedics, and total throughput of patients. So we have figures for April 2011 and April 2012. So you will see that in almost all cases, the number of patients who have been treated have increased rather than decreased. You can look at other statistics on the various procedures. I don't know if this is visible to all of you. It gives details of the catheterization, diagnostic tests, the interventions, the pacemaker implants, the bypass surgeries, the treatment for valve replacements, congenital surgeries. The urologies, you have the surgery details and the ASWL procedures, the plastic surgeries, the orthopedics department, this number of surgeries, and you will see in this department how the throughput has increased almost by 50%. We also have details for the ophthalmology and the endoscopy. And you can see that the treatment is given with love and good cheer. If we now go to the hospital at Whitefield, the super speciality, again you have the statistics for the period April, May, June of 2011 versus April, May, June of 2012, giving the details of the number of patients treated, the number of surgeries performed, and here we have the neurosurgery and neurophysical department, neurology departments, and you can see that the number of surgeries compared to last year is almost the same. There is no reduction at all. Even pediatric surgeries are done in this hospital. And this lady, you can make out by her dress, has come from one of the poor villages of Maharashtra. If you look at the general hospital, you can see that the throughput is increasing very steadily. In fact, one of the major tasks which is facing us now is the expansion of the general hospital at Prashanti Nilayam. Because as you know, this hospital is the main center in the surrounding rural areas where patients can get quality care, especially for deliveries, gynecological cases, and the number of patients is rising dramatically. And we now are working on increasing the facilities and also the medical staff at this hospital. This was the very first hospital that Bhagavan had established. This is a happy mother with a newly born child, and this hospital predominantly serves the mother and children from the rural areas, and the mortality rate in such cases has dramatically come down after these women started coming to Swami's hospital. If you look at the general hospital in Whitefield, here we have had a little problem that we have shortage in the anesthetic staff. We are looking to correct this situation, and also we face problems on, if those of you who have come to Whitefield would know that the highway there is being widened and part of the hospital is under threat of being acquired for the expansion of the highway. So we had extensive consultations as to whether we should shift this hospital within and bring it within the premises of the super specialty where we have plenty of land. And that would also result in several economies of scale. But respecting the sentiments of the doctors, And this hospital works on a rather unique model that the number of doctors coming in to do voluntary service far exceeds the number of doctors who are there on the payroll. And all of them have said that they would ensure that within the space they would realign and they would not like to move. So we're working on that now to see that within the existing premises, by relocation and re-engineering, we are able to bring this hospital back, and in fact we'll have to expand the services to the patients. As you know, I don't know whether you're aware, that a substantial number of the patients in these hospitals are of Muslim origin. They all have great faith in Bhagavan, and for many decades they have been coming to this hospital with faith and devotion. These are the children who are treated, who are born. They have a good pediatric department. And this is the unique concept which Bhagavan has propounded of a mobile hospital. Because Bhagavan felt that rather than have the patients come to the hospital, the medical facilities should be taken to their doorstep. And this experiment has proved hugely successful. And this hospital is fully equipped with a small operation theatre, with ultrasound, with X-rays, with an electrocardiographic, ECG facilities, and also laboratory facilities for doing various kinds of blood tests. And it is backed up by the facilities at the General Hospital as well as the super specialty hospital. So you can see that in fact, almost all the departments and disciplines are extended to the patients. They have a roster of 500 doctors, many of them outstanding specialists who come and serve in this mobile hospital. They work for a period of 2 weeks each, and they give their service. They stay in Prashanti Nilayam. They go with the hospital into the villages. Complete computerized records are maintained for every patient. So when next month the hospital goes back there, the records of the patient as they were seen the previous months is available for guidance to the doctor who is going to examine those patients. So this facility is unique, that it is not a one-off kind of treatment. It is to ensure continuous monitoring of the patient and to ensure that they get the best care which is possible. If they require any advanced surgeries which are not, facilities for which are not available even at the General Hospital or the super specialty hospital, they are taken to other hospitals and treated and looked after. And again, this is all entirely free of cost. So this unique model that we have this roster of 500 doctors who are part of this unique experiment, which has been very successful. We are now in the process of expanding this concept to other parts of India. The mobile ambulances, the state of Maharashtra, 36 ambulances are now on duty. They again have the backup of nursing homes, private hospitals, who have signed up as part of the Sai Medicare system. Similar hospitals as the one at Prashanti Nilayam are going to be installed in New Delhi and also at Bhubaneswar, where again they have mobilized doctors to be available to function with these mobile hospitals. So you can get an idea of the number of patients. In most cases, they are steadily increasing. You can look at the various kinds of diagnostic tests which are done, the biochemical tests, the biopsies, the pap smears, the audiometry for ENT, and even for tests on cervical cancer. This hospital also does unique preventive services, health education, and sanitation. You can see the number of patients who are monitored, counseled, and given medicine for hypertension, diabetes, epilepsy, heart disease, and asthma, thyroid disease, etc. All these are being treated. You can get some idea of the pictures of the actual treatment process. And it's a veritable hospital which is set up at every location where this mobile hospital goes. You can, as far as the expansion of the hospital, we are planning a capital expenditure of $8 million for new equipment and replacement of previous generation equipment. We also now plan to set up the MRI, that is a magnetic resonance imaging, at Prashanti Nilayam also. It is there already at Whitefield, where it forms an intrinsic part of our neurology and neurosurgery department. But the one at Prashanti Gram will serve as an important diagnostic tool in many cases, including orthopedics. Greater emphasis is now being placed on academic activities for the hospital staff. They are also planning to host further international conferences, and we are encouraging them to publish papers, and we also are planning to send them on short training programs abroad into the United States, in Europe, etc. We are creating additional accommodation for the doctors and other staff, and we are improving further the patient management systems. We have unique software which enables any doctor to pull up the entire records of the patient at the patient's bedside. So computerized facilities and software have been created. We are trying to expand this and further increase the facilities which will be available. Now let's go to the university. I give you some data of the admissions this year, and you can see for the undergraduates, while there is a reduction in the number of people who were called, the number of people who accepted placement has dramatically increased. It is now 66% of those who were called for interviews. And we have a much better, I would say, cadre of incoming students. The same story is there on postgraduate students, with the rate of people who have come, responded and accepted admission has shot up to 64% of those who were called for interview compared to 50%. What are the strategic initiatives of the university? We had a one-day workshop for the leadership team. The institute has now finalized his vision statement. It is based on this underlying philosophy, which is entirely from the discourses and teachings of Bhagavan. And this, the core purpose, is now the vision statement for the hospital. This vision statement did not exist earlier, but it has now been formulated. There is annual faculty workshops where Bhagavan's guidelines for teachers and scholars have been crystallized. We also have introduced the concept of mentoring for the faculty. What are the outcomes of this kind of workshop? They are reinforcement of Bhagavan's guidelines, so the teachers, especially the younger people who join, are made familiar with Bhagavan's guidelines. And we have also now a formal blueprint for implementation of the mentoring at the university. These are some of the sessions which took place, and then they had group sessions on the various strategic initiatives, and they also made presentations by the faculties. And for the first time, the university itself introduced the summer course, and the unique feature of this course was all presentations were done by the research scholars of the university and the young faculty. And they were all engaging presentations. Study circles were organized, as well as cultural programs. And that's one of the young faculty members making a presentation at this summer course. We had all the students from all the campuses, Brindavan, Whitefield, and the new campus at Muddanahalli, and also Anantapur, who participated. This is the new campus, which is now operational. So now the university has the 4th campus at Muddanahalli, and it is operational from 1st June of this year. They run the business management courses, computer sciences courses, and we are now building a new hostel building to supplement the accommodation at this campus. You can get an idea of the scenic layout where this is located, and that's the view of the college. Most beautiful building with wonderful gardens has been created by Bhagavan. This is a view of their library. This is a view of their computer lab. And now there are certain new infrastructure which is being added by the university. They are extending their academic buildings. This is about 65 million rupees expenditure. We are also building an advanced research center for postgraduate students, most of them who are fellows under the Council of Industrial and Scientific Research of the Government of India. We are also building a new hostel extension block. You can see the work going on the campus extension, the hostel extension, and also in the Anantapur campus, a teacher's hostel has been planned for 100 lakhs, that is 10 million rupees, and it's expected to be complete by next June. We have also provided accommodation for these two workers, the gardeners and other places who are there. It's about 6.5 million rupees. These are views of the construction as it's going on. And what are the new courses which have been introduced at the university? We now have a Master of Technology in Analytical Methods and Chemical Instrumentation. the Department of Chemistry. We have introduced a new course on Master of Finance in the Department of Commerce with a 2 postgraduate program with an integrated curriculum. We are also introducing the Master of Education, and this is a 2-year program. We are going to now formally introduce a Bachelor of Music. Up to now it was only a diploma course, now we are going to make it a degree course. And we have now set up an online question paper scrutiny board which greatly reduces the errors, accelerates and speeds up the correction of exam question papers, and these are all on a virtual server, and the scrutiny is done and all are under secure documentation using a Microsoft Word tracking feature. All proofreading is done at one time, and this greatly speeds up the whole process. We are now in the process of introducing a university management system, examination module under development, prototype testing in the winter semester. We also have for the administration a module under preparation. And we hope to complete this whole exercise in 2013/14. And for the first time, we are getting into a research collaboration between the university and the super specialty hospital. There is a new chondrocyte cell culture lab. This will help explore the possibilities of chondrocyte cell culture in treating knee cartilages. That is, it will greatly help people who are suffering from deterioration of the cartilages. And it will greatly reduce the knee replacement surgeries, which are to be done today and also being done at high cost outside. Of course, in the hospital, our hospital is done free of cost, but it will save the trauma of going through a surgical process. And this is now being set up. This is a view of the new laboratory which has been set up by the university within the premises of the hospital. It was inaugurated and started to function. And we see now a large number of the alumni of the university who are joining the Satyasai institutions. The Central Trust, the Sadhana Trust, which looks after the bookstall, the books and publication center, the general stores, and also the canteen, and also in the Vidya Vahini program. As far as the school education, we have, the primary schools, the higher secondary school, and now since last year we have taken over the management of the Ishwarama English medium school, which is for day scholars. And you can see the number of students which are admitted, and total 1,560 students have been admitted. And you can see the results of the Central Board of Secondary Examination of the higher secondary school. The successful percentages are above 96-97%. And how many have passed with distinction, how many have passed with first class, and the number of medal winners and those who got the top ranks in the All India basis. And you can see some of the reports which appeared that the Puttaparthi school is showing the way. This came in some of the local newspapers. Now we come to the Central Trust. How does it function? As you know, when Bhagwan was physically present, he was the sole trustee, and each and every aspect of functioning was referred to him. Even minor matters, everything were decided by Bhagwan. Now there is a board of 9 trustees in charge of the affairs of the central trusts. They meet 4 times a year. Of this board of trustees, there has been a board of management which is like an executive board with 5 trustees which meets twice a month to deal with all matters, and those which require important decisions go back up to the board of trustees, to the full board for their approval. We have set in place good governance practices, including an internal audit system. So all procedures for purchases, for award of contracts, there are detailed procedures now set in place for evaluation, for validation and scrutiny before any contracts are awarded. All the statutory compliances required by the government are being met well in time. The annual report of the trust was published for the first time last November, as all of you know, and this year also it will be brought out by the birthday. What are the new initiatives planned by the Central Trust? We propose to take up a drinking water project. As you know, Swami had provided drinking water to 750 villages in the Anantapur district. There are some residual villages, and we intend to extend the existing drinking water projects to cover another 118 villages. We are also planning to construct 300 houses in Orissa for the flood affected. Bhagwan had constructed 700 houses, and it was at that time the planning was for 1,000, so the remaining 300 will also become taken up. The procedure of financial assistance to the Sai schools. There are 99 Sai schools in India, started by devotees at various periods of time. Today they have over 50,000 students in these Sai schools. So the Central Trust is extending financial assistance for the improvement of the infrastructure of these schools. We are also extending assistance for teacher training programs and also assistance to water purification schemes in villages all over India. And a new hospital will be constructed at Muddanahalli, and the Central Trust is going to extend financial assistance to this. And the archive, which will have all materials of Bhagwan, the valuable documents, letters written by Bhagwan in his own hand, the storage and retrieval and storage of valuable audiovisual media, all that will be done in a state-of-the-art archive with climate control facilities to preserve all these details of his story for posterity. What is happening in the ashram? The modernization of the South Indian canteen. We also plan to start distribution of free food to all devotees who are coming for darshan at Prashanti Nilayam. So this canteen has also been modernized. The various entrances to the ashram have been relocated for greater convenience for the visiting devotees. In the indoor stadium, they have now new squash courts for the use of the students. And all festivals, whether they are Hindu, Islamic, just last month they observed the Eid festival and the Christian festival, all are observed. And this year, as you know, in Guru Purnima, We had the symposium on the unity of faiths, where we had outstanding speakers from each of the religious faiths who came and talked. We had Swami Dayananda Saraswati, who spoke on Hinduism. We had Professor Vasi, who came from he is the director of Islamic Studies at the Jamia Islamia in Delhi. We had Father Dominic Emmanuel, who is the director of the Delhi Catholic Archdiocese, who came and spoke on Christianity. And also Sri Jairam, Dhammachari Jairam, who spoke on Buddhism. He is from the Mahabodhi Society. All of them paid unique homage to Bhagwan Baba and how he is the center for hope and unity for the future of the world. The students' Gram Seva will again take place during the Dasara celebrations. Nearly 150 villages are covered. Free distribution of clothes, food, all will be done as was being done when Swami was physically present. As far as the Sai organization in India, which I head, we are now taking steps to create the next line of leadership. 2 national vice presidents have been appointed for the organization in India. Younger people are taking charge as state presidents. The first national retreat was held, and the unique feature of this was that all presentations on various subjects were made by youth, and the audience consisted of the senior office bearers of the organization. As a result of this retreat, working groups have been formed to take each of these decisions forward. We have now inaugurated 4 regional training centers. One at Navsari, where our brother Harshad Patel is very active. There's one at Shimla, one at Bhubaneswar, and the other one at Kodaikanal, near Bhagwan's Sai Shruti Ashram. These regional training centers will be used for training the teachers of the Satya Sai schools and also all our Balvikas and SSE gurus and teachers. And the organization now is involving itself in the improvement of the 99 Sai schools. 600 of the 2,000 teachers have already been trained, and we also have now formed a national council for the Satya Sai schools. This is the highest policy-making body to have a uniform policy of administration, accreditation for these Sai schools. We had the first review workshop for the Satya Sai Village Integrated Program, which you know is a holistic program for the development of the villages. Today, 1,150 villages are covered by this SSS VIP program. But this review workshop was to review its working, to make course corrections, and to decide further how we should expand this program. This time, the organization will bring out for the first time an annual report. This annual report will also come out at the same time as the annual report of the Satya Sai Central Trust. So this will be a printed document, and also it will be available on the website so that people will have a transparent presentation of what the organization is doing, where it is doing, and how it is doing. The India Today magazine brought out this issue of Divine Grace, which many of you may have seen. And in fact, I wanted to tell Dr. Reddy that we have another 1,000 copies which we will make available to him for distribution to all overseas centers. And this was assisted by the India organization. We now have a memorandum of understanding between Radio Sai and the Satya Sai organization. The effect of this memorandum of understanding will be the creation of digital audio-visual studios in different parts of the country, for preparation of programs in different languages, so that there will be a wider dissemination of Swami's teachings. And the organization will celebrate its 50th anniversary in 2015, and we have started our planning, and we need to work with the overseas organization also to observe our golden jubilee. So that is the end of this presentation, which gives you facts and figures of what is happening at Prashanti Nilayam. So if you will bear with me, I would like to share some thoughts with you. I think we still have a little time. And perhaps this is the second purpose for which I have come. When I reflect, as you know, I had the good fortune of being with Bhagavan for over 40 years. But when I reflect on these 40 years now, I feel that this was just a period of preparation. It was a period of preparation for the real work of Sai, which has commenced now. And this is true for each one of us. It is not true just for me, but for every single Sai devotee. The unique privilege that you had of being with him, experiencing his grace, is really a period of preparation. Brothers and sisters, we have to realize that the Sai mission's real work has started now. And Bhagavan has picked each one of us to be a part of it. Nobody could have come to Swami unless he willed it. Each of one of you, please have this confidence that you have been handpicked and you have a role to play. We should have the firm faith, as Brother Narendra said, that Bhagavan is with us as he was before. He knows everything that we do and everything that we think. We must realize that we cannot act or think differently than what we used to do when Swami was physically present. It cannot be different, because Bhagavan is here, he is listening. He is with us on this chair. We must have that faith that he is with us. And as he has said, and which I can confidently vouch for, is that the instances of Bhagavan's guidance, Bhagavan's manifestations are all exploding throughout the world. I think if I were to talk about all that is happening, this session would not be enough. We'll have to sit here for the whole day to be able to get an understanding of what is happening, of Bhagavan's presence in the world. Suffice it to say that he is here, he was with us, he is with us, and he will always be with us. And therefore we must have the same discipline, the same faith, the same attitude towards prayer, and what Bhagavan emphasized, the importance of collective action. Bhagavan really didn't appreciate a lot of individual action. He always felt that people should work together for a project. He used to give this unique example that if you want to eat rice with your hand, all 5 fingers have to work. Just one finger you cannot eat rice. The same way, the importance of collective action. The importance is participation. It is not just the contribution. Participation, working together, adjusting to the opinions and thoughts of others, a tolerance and a belief that we can achieve more by working together than when working alone. So Bhagavan always emphasized the importance of collective action. He directed us to love and respect each other. Disagreements have to be resolved face to face with love and humility rather than criticism behind the back. He repeatedly has said that whatever is the question, the answer is love. Bhagavan has demonstrated that there is no power in this world which is stronger than the power of love. How did he achieve all these wonderful things which he did? He did not do any mantra or tantra. He did not do any magic. In fact, I remember when we were looking at the first water project, and at that time Colonel Jogarao used to be with us, and we were looking, because that project was of a substantial financial magnitude. And Bhagavan, just to humor us, said, how are we going to finance all this? So we were all a bit stumped. But Jogarao said, Swami, I have got the solution. Just teach me how to do this and we will solve the whole problem. He was that kind of man, he could make Swami laugh. He could take liberties with Bhagavan, and Swami did laugh. So, in all these projects, how have they been done? He has used only ordinary people just like people like me and you and several of the other people who were all involved in these projects. But the secret was that he made ordinary people perform extraordinary actions. And how did that happen? Because all were focused on him. All were committed to his work. All had a common purpose, and they worked unitedly. So he proved that ordinary people working together could achieve extraordinary results. This is the secret which we have to learn within all our organizations, that people working together is important rather than a few high flyers. That's not going to be close to Bhagavan. It will never satisfy him. What is the legacy of Bhagavan? The greatest legacy of Bhagavan is the lamp of selfless love that he has lit in the hearts of millions of people all over the world. Through this, that they realize that he is present wherever his work is done and wherever his name is taken. This is the assurance he has given us, that where my name is taken, where my work is done, I am present. So brothers and sisters, what is the way forward? The way forward is to do his work in greater and greater measure, and to take his name more and more. If you want Bhagavan to be with you, to be present, we have to take his name. We have to take the name of Jesus. We have to take the name of Allah. We have to take the name of Krishna. This is not a religious organization. Please be clear about this. The Satya Sai organization is not a religious organization. It is a spiritual and service organization. It is one which respects all religions, but it is not a religious organization. So we should not feel that, oh, we are a Hindu organization. No, that is not so. It is one which stresses the unique heritage of humanity and human thought. So we have to make our lives his message. Brother Narendra stressed this point because Bhagavan used to say in the early days, my life is my message. But later he started to say, I want you to be my message. Your life should be my message. He wants our lives to be transformed in order to motivate and inspire others to transform themselves. The world has to see, experience, and be inspired by the way we conduct our lives and understand that this is only possible due to the grace of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. It is not by wearing white dress that we become Sai devotees. It is not by proclaiming loudly, I am a Sai Bhakta, I am a Sai devotee. It is our behavior, our speech, and our actions which will make others to say that these people must be Sai devotees. So it is in that we have to pay attention, that it is not for us to proclaim that we are Sai devotees. It is for others to say these people can only be Sai devotees. This is something we have to understand. This is the way forward. This morning, in spite of the jet lag, and I just landed in this country on Monday night in Washington, and last night I came to Los Angeles. This morning somehow Bhagavan gave me the energy to get up bright and early, and I went and sat with Sister Haima and Brother Narendra, and there was a discourse which was on. And what was that discourse? It was the dialogue between Hanuman and Vibhishana. Vibhishana, as you know, was the brother of Ravana, a demon, who came over to Rama because he was totally put off by the evil actions of Ravana. And then Rama accepted him, while others in his camp said, no, it's very dangerous to accept this fellow. May be a spy, he may be a double agent, all that. But Swami said, yes, the words have come from my mouth. Swami said, it is Rama who said that anybody who surrenders to me, I will always accept. So Vibhishta was accepted in the camp of Rama, and he was there for some time. Then one day he was quite downcast and saw Hanuman sitting alone, and he went and talked to him. And he told Hanuman that you are indeed fortunate. You are so close to Swami. You are able to converse with him daily. You are having his darshan so often. I have pined for him for so many years, but still his grace is not on me. Though he has accepted me, he does not smile at me, he does not talk to me. These things are common to what all of us have undergone with Bhagavan very often. So what is it, what should I do to get that kind of grace? So Hanuman replied, yes, Vibhishana, you have been taking Rama's name, but have you ever done any of Rama's work? Unless you do Rama's work, just taking his name is not enough. And then we listen to the discourse where Swami emphatically said that unless you do Sai's work, there is no place for you here. Not to just come and sit on the veranda and then just sit without doing any work, as Brother Narendra talked about our Gopal Rao, who at that age went and served water in the canteen. So something we have to do with faith and dedicating that work to Swami. Swami's work is not only in Puttaparthi, Swami's work is everywhere. Any opportunity for service in any place, that is Sai's work. Look out of the window. There is no hell or heaven. Hell is in this world when you look out of the window and see the suffering of the people, even in America, the land of the free and the land of the American dream. Still, there are people who are suffering. There are people who are needy. Not everybody has got achieved and realized the so-called American dream. They need help. There's enough opportunity to do seva. And there is no person in this world who's incapable of seva or service. Even on your deathbed you can do service. And it is a role of the Sathya Sai organization to design programs so that every single devotee who comes to a Sai center, not just the members of the organization, it should design programs for every single devotee who comes to the Sai center to be able to give him an opportunity to do service. Service is not done just by the hands. Service is not done by just writing a big check. Service becomes service only when it is done with love and compassion. So we should realize that any work that we do, which we think is service, qualifies for service only when it is done with love. Just holding an old lady's hand and crossing the road, thinking about what we have got a meeting in the office, thinking about something else that we have to do, that is not service. When you have love and compassion for that lady and then take her across the road and make her happy, not just picking her here and dropping her there, that is not service. It has to be done with love and compassion. Bhagavan stressed this word, compassion, compassion, compassion. Human being is the only one who has been born with this facility of compassion. But it has to be nurtured. It has to be carefully taken care of, allowed to flower and to bloom. And that quality alone will take us closer to Bhagavan. So service must be qualifies as service only when it is done with love and compassion. We had been talking about some of our experiences with Bhagavan. Each one of us had had some unique experiences. And we should now is the time to reflect and recapitulate these signs of divine grace. Oh, Swami saved me. Swami got me a job. Swami took care of my health. At that time, the obvious purpose seemed to be that. That is not the entirety of it. Now is the time to reflect on all that. It had a teaching. It had an inner message. It had an inner significance, which is the time when we have to recapitulate and think and enjoy again in our hearts in the depths of silence. Only in the depths of silence can we hear the voice of divinity. You cannot hear it when you go on chattering away. In those depths of silence, sit by yours. Ekantam, that word is just said in Sanskrit. Be alone. Cultivate the capability and the capacity to sit alone and be silent and then reflect. Remember, rejoice that experience with Bhagavan, and then try to probe what was the message. Was it just that Swami saved my life, or was there something else also which I have overlooked? Now is the time to reflect and recapitulate. That act was not just a proof of his divinity, not just to demonstrate his omnipresence, omnipotence and omniscience, but it is a teaching. And now we should see, and if we were to compare it with academics, I would say that it is the doctoral degree in Bhagwan's cosmic university. I would like to share with you an experience which taught me an important lesson. Once when I was in a remote northern Indian state, some of the village people came to me and said, "Oh, you people in Puttaparthi are all very, very fortunate. You are so close to Bhagavan, while we are the unfortunate ones. We are so far from this divine avatar. What a terrible bad luck we have." So when I came back to Prashanti Nilayam, I mentioned this to Bhagavan and wanted to know what was the real correct situation. Bhagavan laughed and he said, "Srinivas, the real fact is that many of the people here in Prashanti Nilayam who are physically close to me are spiritually very, very far from me. And many of the people who are physically very far from me are near and dear to me. So let us not feel that you are here in Los Angeles, 10,000 miles away from Prashanti Nilayam, and that you are far from Bhagavan. Oh, Bhagavan is here. He is in your heart. The distance is between yourself and your heart. You are close to Bhagavan if you do His work, if you take His name, if you have the faith that Bhagavan is with you, in you, around you, and will always be with you. So this is the quality which we should cultivate. And we should understand. My sister asked me one question yesterday which I did not reply then because I was going to reply to it today. We do not serve Bhagavan by building temples to Him. People want to build side temples. We don't serve Him by that. Bhagavan never wanted temples to Himself. What we should do is to build community service centers so that through these we are able to extend the message of Bhagavan of serving society. Yes, you can have in that center a bhajan hall. You can put definitely an altar for Swami where you extend your worship to Him. But do not call it a Sai temple. It is a Sai community service center. You can give another name if you want in America. But do not believe that in order to perpetuate the faith and belief in Bhagavan, we have to build Sai temples. Please pardon me if I've hurt some feelings of yours, but I wanted to share with you my frank thoughts on this matter. We cannot compromise on the core principles and values that Bhagavan has taught us. And at the same time, just like the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where the big war took place during the Mahabharata, where Krishna taught the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, we have to realize that this world is our Kurukshetra. We have to strive to make it a Dharmakshetra, that is a place of Dharma. This is our role. We have to be active and engage this. We have to boldly engage with the world. We have to understand that we are a part of the society. And we have to perform our sadhana in it, not away from it. Our organizations and institutions must have the faith, confidence, and courage to be more open to the world with all its vicissitudes. We must constantly pray to Bhagavan that we must be in the world and at the same time not in it. This is the anachronism. This is the dilemma. But it is a divine dilemma. And Bhagavan will help us to understand and play our role in that. We must realize that we transform ourselves first, and by that we can transform the world and not get drowned by the world. It is here that we have to follow the Master, face the devil, fight to an end, and finish the game. We cannot be away from society. We should not feel, no, if we get involved in society, it is going to be very difficult to preserve our principles. No. We must have the faith that Bhagavan is with us. We have to work in society. We should not be away from society. No one should come to any Sai institution and go away dejected. No one should feel unwanted. There is room for all in the Sai world. Everyone has a role to play. It is the duty of those who have been fortunate to have been with Bhagavan to make this possible for all. We should not be selfish. I've got Bhagavan with me, I had him with me, he has given me so much grace. Why should I now try to extend this camaraderie, this unique communion to others? That is wrong. You will be really misusing the grace and the legacy of Bhagavan if you try to keep it to yourself. We cannot be dogmatic, fastidious, and fanatic. We have to radiate love towards all, even to those who apparently do not wish us well. Bhagavan has amply demonstrated, I repeat again, that love is the greatest energy in this world. Love can change all, even your worst enemy can change if you have the love towards him. This message Bhagavan repeatedly taught us, and we should have faith in it. That is not just by avoiding this person, I don't like him. No. We should have the faith to extend to him selfless love. You may be rebuffed, you may be put aside, the response may not be good. Repeatedly with love. Do not lose your temper. And you will find that repeated blows by the chisel of love will break even the hardest rock. In my opinion, the legacy of Bhagavan has 4 parts. One is the Sai institutions. They will continue as Bhagavan has set them up with adequate corpus. And we are continuing this running of these institutions based on the returns that we get from the investments which are made in nationalized banks and fixed deposits. But we have to understand, brothers and sisters, that each one of us has a responsibility towards these institutions. Bhagavan has created these and given to the humanity. He has made us, He has showered His love and grace on us. So we have now to realize our responsibility that these institutions must be kept running for posterity, not for just 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. They must continue forever. They must be Bhagavan, whatever Bhagavan has done is for eternity, not for just for a few years. So let us realize that whether it is a university, whether it is a hospital, whether it is water projects, Each one has a role to play in that. And we have to see that we feel the responsibility. I must do something to enable that these institutions continue to bloom, to expand, to flourish. We should not say, though, that is something responsibility of the central trust. The second part of Bhagavan's legacy is, as I said, love. This love which has been lit in the hearts of millions of people is translated verily into love in action all over the world. Here also so much work is going on, whether it is in Haiti or in Guinea or Colombia or anywhere else. So much good work is being done by the organization all over the world. So really, what makes us do it? It is because of the love and compassion which Bhagavan has placed in our hearts. It is only that which makes us motivate ourselves to perform these actions of service. This love transforms our lives. Life acquires a new meaning. This is a new path of what one could call Prema Yoga, which to Sai devotees embodies all the other yogas, whether it is Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. And we feel that this Prema Yoga is superior to all other yogas, and it is the path for liberation. We must have the confidence that if we want to be liberated from this circle of birth, of life and death, the only real way is through prema, selfless prema. Prema translated into service. Prema translated into spirituality. Spirituality and service are the two legs on which we go. If you are more spiritual, you do more service. If you do more service, you are able to be more spiritual. And we must understand an important part of Bhagavan's legacy for mankind is education. What he has given in the form of SSEHV, SSE, is something unique. We should not squander this unique heritage which Bhagavan has given. It must flower, it must expand. We have to see that we make this an important part of the working of every single Sai center. Last and foremost, I feel Bhagavan's legacy to us is the Satya Sai organization. It is a unique institution. There is no institution in the world like the Satya Sai organization. It is one which Bhagavan has created, not because he needed it. He has created it as an instrument to enable each one of us to perform our sadhana, our seva. It helps us to redeem ourselves. So we must understand that doing organization work is really doing divine work. You must have that confidence. It is not that, oh, it is this something else. No, no, no. When you are doing organization work, you are doing divine work. You must have this confidence and faith. Sometimes a question is now being raised as to what should spiritual aspirants do, because now Bhagavan is physically not there to guide them. I think the answer to this is that there is a wealth of guidance in the writings and discourses of Bhagavan. These can certainly serve as guideposts on one's spiritual sadhana. It is necessary to have faith that Bhagavan is with the sadhak and will appropriate, with the sadhak means the spiritual aspirant, and will appropriately guide him at the important point of his or her progress in the spiritual journey. It is important to have patience and dedication rather than look for quick fixes. those whom Baba has taken under his wing, he will never forsake them. They should have the faith and devotion as appropriate for a Sadguru, that is a Guru of Gurus. It is necessary to be on guard now against those who profess to have been endowed with special powers by Bhagwan Baba or having a supernormal relationship with him. Bhagwan had made it clear on several occasions that there are no such persons. There is no spiritual successor to Bhagwan. Bhagwan's connections with his devotee was always one-to-one, heart-to-heart. You don't have to have a connection only through the All India President or through the Chairman of the Prashanti Council. Your connection with Bhagwan is unique, direct, heart-to-heart, one-to-one. You must have that faith. So what is the message for us? Bhagwan's messages are simple. Love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. These are the two mantras, if you want. And let us realize, there's no such thing as a small service or a big service. There's no such thing. Service is service when the attitude of service with love is there. Be alike to everyone. That was Bhagwan's message. That was the message of Jesus. It is the same message. We pray to Bhagwan, thank him for having made it possible for us to be his devotees and for his guidance, grace and compassion to be always with us. Jai Sai Ram.